When I was little,
Sure.
I've always kind of felt like an artist, but I also have this love for music. And so when I got to college, I had to kind of choose one or the other, and I chose music for my undergrad. So that was music is a big part of my life. But I always felt like that art component was missing. I got my undergrad at USU, and the art and the music department were in the same building. And when I would leave my music classes, I'd go and I'd walk down the art hall and I'd peek into the ceramics room and I'd see those wheels and the pieces, and I just want to be a part of that. But I stayed focused and I finished in music, but there was always that little piece of me that wanted to go check that out. After my kids got a little bit older, after my last one was born, I started looking for ways to kind of fill that missing component in my life. So that's when I looked for a class in ceramics and found out that I absolutely love clay and creating with clay. And I think I'll always work with clay. I am kind of experimenting with wood right now and combining clay and wood. But I love ceramics. I love the versatility of it, and there's always something new to learn, I feel like, with clay. So I started in that, taking classes, and then eventually got asked to teach classes, and that kind of began my journey towards grad school. I was teaching at a little nonprofit down in American Fork, and eventually got contacted by UVU Community Ed and started teaching classes for them. So I'd either teach classes for them or I'd teach classes for just on my own, just kind of putting an ad in the newspaper or whatever, and I'd get people that were interested. So eventually, unfortunately, that closed, and so that's what led me to grad school at BYU. I contacted Vaughn, and she got right back to me. She was awesome. Had me come into the studio, gave me a little table to work at, just had me check out the program, see if I liked it, and was really encouraging. And she pulled a lot of ropes for me. I got in kind of after the deadline, and was able to start grad school spring term. And that was, that was June, and I had contacted her I think in February. So everything kind of just fell into place for me to be able to do that. I talked to my family, before, just to kind of fill out and see if they were open to that idea. And for the most part, they were very supportive and were supportive of me pursuing that. And so I relied on them, I relied on neighbors and friends to kind of help fill in the gaps for me to be able to do that.
Awesome.
I've always felt like an artist, but as I've become a mother, it's kind of changed my focus on art and has influenced what I make and why I make it. Conceptually, my work centers around the domestic. I love the vessel and how traditionally it's associated with the home. And so I feel like that's always going to be a part of my work. I also like to incorporate textile patterns into the surface of my work. So that's another way that the home has influenced my work and the concepts that go into it. I think when I'm able to create art, it kind of feeds my energy and my creativity as a mother. I just need that extra thing that is just mine to help kind of feed my own energy. As I'm able to do that, kind of fills up my reserves, and I feel like I can be a better mother. That there's kind of that little missing part of me that's been filled up. I don't think it's selfish either. I feel like it's necessary to have some part of you that isn't constantly giving to other people, that's maybe receiving a little bit. Everyone needs that. And And I feel like it's a gift to those around you if you allow yourself to have that time to kind of regenerate yourself creatively. I was always thinking about how my faith in Jesus Christ has informed my art. I think it helps me keep an eternal perspective. And so, like I said before, my family comes first to me. And so when I'm spending time with them and I'm not making art, it doesn't feel like as much of a sacrifice at all, because they're the most important thing to me. I was thinking about how I often read this, how there's a lot of women artists that choose not to have a family because they feel like it will take away from their art. And I mean, and honestly, it does. I could be maybe a bigger player in the art world now if I wasn't a mom, but I feel like my faith it keeps me grounded on what's the most important thing, and I think the rewards that I receive from my family far more outweigh the rewards that I receive as an artist, although I do feel blessed and grateful to have that component in my life. So I think it helps me keep an eternal perspective and kind of keep things more balanced in my life. My advice to the men would be to support your wife and to understand that she needs more than to just give and give and give all the time. She needs a little bit of time to refuel and regenerate herself, and if she's an artist, then that is most likely going to require a little bit of time to herself to be able to create.